Hello friends, welcome to the lecture on arrays. Today we are going to look into uh, arrays, how they are created, how they are denoted in Perl, and various other basics that can be used with array variables. So let's get started. Now in Perl, you define an array variable using an sign. So what I mean by that is your array variable would look like this, and your variable name. So for example, my variable name would be ARR1. This helps Perl to distinguish your array variables from your scalar variables and hash variables. As I said, scalar variables are denoted using a dollar sign, array variables are denoted using a sign. So I hope this is clear. Now to assign a value to an array variable, I simply assign a list of numbers 1, comma 2, comma 3. This is my creation of an array variable ARR1. So I'll quickly tag a comment here. This is array creation. So this is one way of creating an array. Just simply assign a list to a particular array variable. Now you can also create your array variables in different ways. In another way, basically, that is using the QW operator. So if I say QW and I write something here, probably I will say this is my array string. So this will also create an array variable that would be my at the rate ARR2. Oops. This will again create an array variable, and I would again do my at the rate ARR3, and what I'll do is I'll quickly do a QW and simply pass some numbers 2, 3, 4. So if you see here, we have created three arrays. The difference is in the first array we have just assigned a list to the array variable, and in the second way we have created an array using the QW operator. The result would be the same. So we'll quickly print all these arrays and we'll see what exactly has happened here. Array 1 at the rate ARR1 slash. I'll copy this statement three times. Change this. Now we can execute this particular statement, and if you see, oops, we have missed the semicolons. We've got the output as expected. So array 1, we have got 1, 2, 3. This is my array string. QW has separated this particular string in the form of space delimited, and it has assigned all these elements as part of the array. 2, 3, 4 are again part of array, which is separated by space. So array is basically a list of numbers which are indexed. What I mean by indexed, we look when we are going to access elements from the array. So this is the part on creation of array. Now we can also create arrays using some list ranges, basically giving. So if we want to create some sequential number of arrays, we what we can do is we can specify some particular list range inside the list that we assign to an array variable. So let's say I am saying my at the rate ARR underscore range, and I assign a particular range. So for example, my range would start from 1 dot dot to 10, and I simply want to then print this particular array range as at the rate array underscore range. So if we print this, it would give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is basically the list range that I have specified. So from 1 to 10, this is how you specify a list range. This helps you to create sequential arrays with sequential numbers or sequential lists. So you can specify anything here. You can start it from 2 to 100 or any number that you want, but that would be a sequence of numbers. Now we can go ahead and look into passing scalar variables as your list ranges, or for that matter inside your list itself. So for example, my dollar num1 is equal to 1 and dollar num2 is equal to 10. And now I replace dollar 10 with num2 and dollar 1 with dollar num1. So this would again give me the same output. I've just forgot to declare my variables, and now we'll get the same output. So what I mean here is inside the array we can use our scalar variables just like we use it in normal course of action. Moving ahead, how we retrieve values from array. So retrieve values from arrays. This is very important, and you can just simply do that by using the square brackets. So for example, let's say we'll consider our first array, that is at the rate arr1. Now if I want a particular value, what I'll do is I'll say print my first value in slash at the rate arr1 is equal to, I'll say dollar ARR of 0. First we'll just execute this particular program, and then we'll start looking into it what exactly we have done here. So let's execute it again. So now it says my first value in at the rate ARR1 is 1. So what has happened here? Your first value is 1. So why have we started with an index of 0? This is because in Perl, everything starts from, or basically in arrays, the values, the index value starts from 0 till the number of elements it has in that particular array. So in this case, it would be 0, 1 and 2. 3 elements, the index would be 2 because it starts from 0. We'll look into this when we get the size of the array from this particular array variable. So as of now, in order to access any element, you need to have the reference, that is using dollar at the rate ARR1, that is your array variable ARR of 1, and using the square brackets you provide the index for that particular array. So which location you want to actually extract the element from that array. In case you specify a location, for example 10, which does not exist, what you will get is 0. So basically it just assigns nothing to uh, that particular retrieve of value from that particular array, because it does not has any index which leads to 10. Hence it gives you nothing as the output. So moving ahead, what we'll do is we'll see what exactly we mean by index and what exactly or how exactly we calculate the size of an array variable. So there are two ways to calculate the size of the array variable. This is very important, as whenever we loop array variables or whenever we iterate through an array, we need to know the size of that particular array. So let's say size of array variable. Now what we'll do is there are two ways. We'll go through each of these ways and we'll see what exactly is the difference. Okay, so the first way is I'll just assign dollar size is equal to at the rate ARR of 1, and I'll print this dollar print size of array dollar size. Okay, and we'll execute this particular code. I think okay. Okay, I've just misspelled it incorrectly. So if you see, size of the array is 3, but we said okay, index starts from 0 and the size is 3. So this is a little ambiguous. So we'll again get the size of the array variable. Now this time we would get it in a different way. what I'll do is I'll say dollar size again, and I'll say dollar hash ARR of 1, and we'll print the size of the array variable. This time we would not say size, but we would say index of array. And if you see here, we have got the answer as 2. So how do we read this? The output can be read in this way. The size of the array is 3, that is there are 3 elements in an array, but the index or the maximum index that array has is 2, because it starts from 0, 1 and 2. So whenever we iterate through in our loops, we would say that dollar hash of array 1 would be considered. Why is that so? So for example, we just simply write a for loop. We'll look into those for loops in detail later. But let's say if I want to write a particular for loop, I would say for at the rate for dollar a is equal to 0, comma dollar a is less than dollar hash arr1, or less than or equal to dollar hash arr1. This means we are going to index, that is the maximum index of that particular array. So simply, I hope this is pretty clear that how we can understand between the size of the array and the maximum index of that particular array. There is one more way we can have the value of array printed, and this would be something like this: print size of array. And what we can do is we'll simply say my dollar size is equal to scalar at the rate arr of 1, or let's say arr of arr range, and here I would say dollar size. So if we again execute this, oops, so what has happened here? It has basically again given me the length of that particular array array. So in this case, the length was 10. As we have started the range from 1 to 10, it has given me the size of the array variable as 10. Or in fact, what we can do is we can just quickly execute the same program, and you can see the size of the array when I've just assigned the scalar array variable to a particular scalar variable. It has given me the size of the array as 3. When I have used the scalar function to get the size of the array, it has again given me 3. When we have done dollar hash of array1, which is to get the index value, the maximum index value of that particular array, it has given me the index of the maximum index value of that particular array. I hope this is pretty clear. These are some basic points that we need to understand in terms of working with arrays. We'll have a deeper look of array variables and various functions that are associated with array in our next lectures. Thank you. See you at the next lecture.